have frequent fluctuations in energy levels and cravings? I certainly did until I understood how to jump off that glucose roller coaster. And the best part was how easy it was to ditch those cravings by simply changing the order in which I eat my foods each meal. The best part is how good I feel all the time. No longer do I stash food in my purse, in my backpack, in my car, in case I might have a blood sugar crash. In this video, you too will learn how to jump off that glucose roller coaster, and it all starts with breakfast. Hi there, I'm Teresa Potter, retired biochemist, chemistry teacher, athlete, certified aromatherapist, and founder of Heirloom Apothecary. In today's video, you too will learn how to stop cravings starting with breakfast or whatever your first meal of the day is. We will cover 3 points. First, we will review the glucose roller coaster and deepen your understanding. Second, we'll look at the anatomy of a savory breakfast and why it impacts your glucose levels the rest of the day. We'll also analyze typical breakfasts and suggest alternatives or modifications. And lastly, we will find breakfast recipes on the web together. I'll guide you through how to think through recipes you may find and their effects that they may have on your blood sugar and ultimately your health and weight. Are you a typical modern person? Are you rushed in the morning, just grab something quick as you head out the door? Perhaps you start your day with a cup of coffee, which initially provides a caffeine boost, but also stimulates cravings for sweet foods, so you grab a donut or a piece of toast with jam. Then mid-morning, as the caffeine wears off, your glucose spikes from the sweet something that you ate also plummets, sending a signal to your brain's craving center. This leads to another need for coffee and a sweet snack to tide you over until lunch. Does this sound familiar? Then for lunch, you may typically have a sandwich or indulge in a hamburger and fries or pizza washed down with a Coke and maybe a sweet treat. By mid-afternoon, your caffeine levels and glucose spikes have plummeted again, sending signals to your brain's craving center. You find yourself craving more sweet snacks, perhaps accompanied by another cup of coffee to keep the cycle going until dinner. Your evening meal may consist of spaghetti or other dish with bread, salad, then followed by coffee and dessert. This full dinner may provide temporary satisfaction, but ultimately perpetuates the cycle of cravings and overeating. By mid-evening, you continue to experience cravings, making it difficult to resist reaching for another sweet snack or beverage before bedtime, keeping those glucose levels high, which affects our ability to get to and stay asleep. Do you find yourself waking up for a midnight snack? That is a sure sign of being on the glucose roller coaster. We feel increasingly out of control, but it's not your fault. This pattern of eating reflects the influence of your gut microbiota on food cravings and intake. You see, your gut neurons monitor levels of sugar, amino acids, and essential fatty acids, signaling to your brain the nutrients in the food you just ate. If you don't get enough of a certain amino acid found in the protein or enough essential fatty acid found in good fats in that meal, the brain will continue to release hunger hormones until you do get the basic nutrients that you need. If we feel hungry all the time, we are in fact on the glucose roller coaster because we are consuming sugary or starchy foods over food with protein and good fats. A sugary breakfast, lunch, and dinner lacks sufficient essential amino acids and protein and essential fatty acids and good fats, leading to continued cravings until your body receives adequate quantities of these nutrients. Recall in my previous video that high levels of glucose throughout the day makes us sick. we put on unnecessary pounds that increase our risk of development of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. In fact, studies show that as little as 25 extra pounds puts us on the road to insulin resistance. Even if we are not overweight, but carry the weight primarily around our midsection, we are increasing our development of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. In summary, breaking the cycle of sugary breakfasts and snacks by incorporating savory breakfast options could help stabilize your energy levels, reduce cravings, and promote satiety throughout the day. By prioritizing nutrient-dense foods that are mostly protein and healthy fats, you can support your overall health and well-being while breaking free from the cycle of constant snacking and cravings. The best part is you can do this no matter what food camp you're in: keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, or omnivore. The key is a savory, not sweet breakfast. So, what is a savory breakfast, you may ask? Point two. First, let's define breakfast. It is the first food you eat after not eating while you sleep, no matter what time of day that is. For example, if you do intermittent fasting, breakfast is your first meal, whether you eat it at 10 a.m. or noon. Savory breakfast options often include fiber, often in the form of vegetables, proteins, healthy fats, and perhaps some whole grains. The average American winces at the thought of having vegetables for breakfast. Stay tuned for point three. It isn't always what you think. What are the benefits of a savory versus sweet breakfast? Well, first, nutrition. This combination provides a broad spectrum of essential nutrients, including vitamins, minerals, antioxidants that are crucial for overall health and well-being. It also helps to promote a sustained energy level throughout the morning, avoiding the glucose roller coaster of rapid spikes and crashes in blood sugar associated with sugary breakfasts. Second, satiety. Protein and fiber commonly found in savory breakfast options are known to increase feelings of fullness and satiety. This can help to reduce overall calorie intake throughout the day and may contribute to weight management and healthy eating habits. Third, microbiome health. Many savory breakfast options include prebiotic-rich foods such as vegetables, whole grains, and fermented foods like yogurt or kimchi. These foods can help to nourish the beneficial bacteria in the gut, promoting a healthy microbiome and supporting digestive health. Fourth, cognitive function. Research suggests that consuming a breakfast rich in nutrients and low in refined sugars can positively impact cognitive function and mental clarity throughout the day. This can lead to improved focus, concentration, and productivity. And fifth, heart health. Choosing savory breakfast options that are high in healthy fats, such as those found in avocados, nuts, olive oil, can help support the cardiovascular health and reduce the risk of heart disease. Let's review the enlightened order of eating foods to maintain a stable glucose level throughout the day and reduce or eliminate cravings. Remember, fiber first. Second, eat your proteins and healthy fats. Only then complex carbs and sugars. And then after the meal, movement. Now let's apply this formula to a typical modern out-the-door breakfast and how we can modify what you may already be eating to achieve a stable glucose level. Because remember, those glucose spikes makes us sick. While eating food that doesn't come with a label like our ancestors did is generally a better option, if you do buy packaged food, read the labels. A popular trend that is supported by modern science is the 5-to-1 fiber rule. The total carbohydrates divided by the total dietary fiber, generally it's the bigger number divided by the small number, should be 5 or less. If not, it is a dessert, or it goes back on the shelf. Are you a grab a quick bowl of cereal morning person? Most cereals have too much sugar and will spike your blood glucose and send you off on the glucose roller coaster. For example, Nature Valley granola. Let's look at this label. The total carbohydrate is 9 grams divided by only 1 gram of fiber equals 19. Way off the limit of 5. How about Frosted Bran Flakes, a popular cereal that should be high in fiber, right? Well, the total carbs are 36 grams divided by 5 grams of fiber. That equals 7.2. While it does have a good dose of fiber, the amount of added sugar will spike your glucose. All right, this looks like a good option. Coconut and cashew butter granola. That sounds so healthy, I almost wouldn't read the label before it went into my basket. But let's be wise and read the label anyway. Let's see, 19 grams of carbohydrate and only 2 grams of fiber. You probably don't need a calculator to know that equals over 9. This healthy sounding coconut cashew butter granola will spike your blood sugar even higher than the brand Frosted Flakes. So if you are married to a bowl of cereal, look for keto cereals, even if you are not a diabetic. By definition, they will be low in carbohydrates and will not spike your glucose. I like the Catalina Crunch that is currently at Costco. Let's apply the 5-to-1 rule to this label. Let's see here. Total carbohydrates are 14 grams divided by 9 grams of dietary fiber. That equals 1.5. Well below 5, so it's a keeper. I also like to keep it in the car in case I am out and about and need to stretch my mealtime. It is a great protein snack anytime you need it. It will not spike glucose. Another common fast food breakfast is the smoothie. Clearly, not all smoothies are the same, but they are potentially a problem. They may be jam-packed with fiber and protein, or they may be your ticket on a glucose roller coaster. Stay tuned for part 3 for some smoothie recipes to consider. Maybe you have toast and coffee on the way out the door kind of mornings. While that can potentially be a glucose roller coaster ticket, it doesn't have to be. Dress up that piece of toast with a nut butter, but be sure to omit the jam or honey. Or mash up some avocados with or without an egg on top. And it's a yummy option while washing it down with either black coffee or with a creamer. Nix the sugar. You could also replace that coffee with whole milk, but absolutely no juice. Opt for a whole piece of fruit at the end of the meal, and you have a breakfast that will keep your glucose levels stable, and you'll likely not need a mid-morning snack or coffee. You may want to read the label of your bread. Does it fall within the 5-to-1 rule? Most don't. Let's take a look at 3 healthy labeled breads. Dave's Killer Bread is a favorite of label readers. Let's see if it abides the 5-to-1 fiber rule. Total carbs, 22 grams. Fiber, 5 grams. 22 divided by 5 equals 4.4. Bingo. It should still be combined with protein and fat in a meal, but it's a keeper. How about Oral Wheat 100% whole wheat bread? 21 grams of carbohydrate divided by 3 grams of fiber equals 7. This bread will spike your glucose. How about Nature's Own 100% whole wheat bread? 11 grams of carbohydrate divided by 2 grams of fiber gives you 5.5. While it doesn't fit within the 5-to-1 fiber rule, even 0.5 makes a difference. It is certainly much a better choice than the Oral Wheat bread. Maybe you are an oatmeal lover. Like a smoothie, oatmeal may be your ticket on a glucose roller coaster, especially if you're a fan of tearing the top off a pouch of oatmeal and pouring hot water over it or microwaving it. Stay tuned for part 3 for some oatmeal recipes to consider. Maybe you reach for breakfast bars. The Clif bar on the left has 43 grams of carbs divided by 5 grams of fiber, which gives you over 8. So that's clearly above the 5 threshold. However, look at the Kind protein bar on the right. It has 18 grams of carbs divided by 5 grams of fiber. That gives you a little over 3. Clearly, the Kind protein bar would be a good choice for breakfast and would not spike you. Another ticket on the glucose roller coaster can be fruit-flavored yogurts. They are packed with sugar and little to no fiber. Consider full-fat, unflavored yogurt and add your own fresh or frozen berries and a piece of David's Killer Bread, and you have a substantial breakfast. Breakfast burritos are also a great idea, but swap out the flour tortilla with an almond flour tortilla. Siete brand products are always a better choice. Notice the total carbs are 20 divided by 4 grams of fat equals 5, another keeper. You can find them at all better markets such as Sprouts and are carried year-round at Costco. Be wary of your sweeteners. Always use a minimal amount. Even honey and maple syrup are loaded with sugar. Maple syrup is about 2/3 sucrose or table sugar. 1/3 of a cup supplies around 60 grams of sugar. In addition, the high sugar content may affect your blood sugar levels, though maple syrup may be a better option than regular sugar in that regard. And lest we come to some erroneous conclusions, let's take a look at fruit versus fruit juice. For example, my beloved orange. On the left, we see a whole orange, and its total carbohydrates is 11 grams. Its dietary fiber is 2.3 grams, which divides out to 4.7. That orange will not spike your blood sugar. It is safe to eat. I would still eat it somewhere around protein and fats, and that will even more dampen your blood sugar. But let's compare this to 1 cup of fresh orange juice. Carbohydrates is 26 grams, fiber is 0. Divide those, and you've got a whopping 26, which will spike your blood sugar higher than anything we've discussed in this video so far. So maybe you have time in the morning to cook or like to do so on the weekends. Come with me to the web and I'll walk you through how to find a recipe that will abide the 5-to-1 fiber rule.
Let's explore the web and find some good healthy breakfasts. You don't have to buy a cookbook. So the key thing is, how are you going to search for it? I could just search for breakfast, but that leaves it way too open. Savory breakfast helps, but since we're all about fiber here, let's type in fiber-rich savory breakfast, and it really narrows it down to some good options. So let's take a look at what we found. 25 high-fiber breakfast ideas, high-fiber breakfast recipes that aren't oats, 18 high-protein, high-fiber breakfasts to start your day. For my goals and what I personally work on, that is the first one I would click on. Notice you're probably going to have quite a few cooked options, but there can also be some uncooked options. But just for some of these quick out the door things, let's start with this first option because it says avocado toast, chia pudding, things like that. They look faster. So let's click on 25 high fiber breakfast ideas and let's just peruse them. First, let's take a look at our sources. This is from health.com, which seems like it's reputable. It's written by a registered dietitian, and it's medically reviewed by a different registered dietitian. This makes it likely that it's probably got some reputable information, but you can't just carte blanche follow it. So we have to apply our 5-to-1 rule and see what we come up with. So let's just skim down. There we go, avocado toast with hemp seeds. Remember earlier in the video, I suggested putting some avocado on that toast. I didn't think of putting hemp seeds on that, but of course, 2 teaspoons of hemp seeds has 5 grams of protein and 3.36 grams of fiber. So just the hemp seeds on top packs a great punch. So there's a wonderful option. You want to amp that up, put an egg or 2 on top. Chia puddings are a great option as well. Those chia seeds add a lot of fiber. You do need to be careful of how much sweetener you use. Using berries such as blueberries and blackberries and things like that are a great option with a lot of fiber and very little sugar. And if you're into oatmeal, here's an oatmeal option. But notice they're putting almonds, so we have nuts to amp up the protein. Although oatmeal does have protein, we want to bump that up even more. Almonds are a great idea. And berries, where they add a lot of fiber with very little carbohydrate. Sweet potato toast. Now, I love sweet potatoes. They are good for you, but you do need to respect them. So let's take a look and see if we can make that sweet potato fit within our 5-to-1 rule. Let's click on this link and let's see, maybe they have all of the information we need, or we need to go and search out the nutritional facts on sweet potatoes. Let's see. Click on sweet potato. Okay. And we'll scroll down. They tell you how good they are, and they are. They're wonderful for you. Look, it says they help regulate blood sugar levels, and they explain why, because of the fiber. The problem is there's still a significant amount of glucose there. So let's switch. Oh, look, they gave us sweet potato nutrition facts. So let's take a look at those carbohydrates. Remember, glucose are carbohydrates. The carbohydrates are 26.1, and we'll divide that by the fiber, 3.9, and that gives us 6.7. Okay, that is still above the 5 threshold. However, we're not going to just write them off. There is so much nutrition here that can help us. So let's go back and see what they say to do to that sweet potato. Go back. They say, look, it says to add eggs, fiber-rich vegetables, and beans. So those are some things that you can do to dress up your sweet potato. You can also put beans on your avocado to amp up the protein. So you have several different options there. Vegetable and avocado omelet. Okay, eggs high in protein and fiber, avocado high in fiber, good fats, vegetables high in fiber. That one's going to be a great ratio for breakfast. Quinoa bowls with eggs and veggies. Again, all of those things high in fiber, good fats. Another great option. Breakfast salads with hard-boiled eggs, cooked or raw vegetables, seeds, beans, cheese. All those things are good on our list. Protein smoothies with berries and flax. Great idea here. They tell you to be sure to add a good source of protein like whey or pea protein or kefir. And breakfast tacos, another great way to get some vegetables in for breakfast. With eggs, you can saute vegetables like onions and peppers and black beans, and you've got a wonderful breakfast. Just remember to use a siete tortilla instead of a flour tortilla. And it just goes on and on and on. These are wonderful ideas for breakfast. So I highly recommend this website to get you started. So I did a search for healthy smoothies, and the first hit that I came up with was from prevention.com. I immediately clicked on that because I remember that magazine as a small child. My mother always had it and has always been a great reputation for healthy nutrition. So 35 healthy smoothie recipes. Let's take a look here. Let's scroll down and find a recipe. Let's see, Where is a recipe? Here we go. Here's our first one, tropical chia smoothie. Looks good. Let's scroll. Oh, look at this. It gives us our macros. It makes it very easy to check out its nutrition. So we want to take the carbohydrates and divide it by the fiber and see if it fits into our 5-to-1 ratio. So 43 grams of carbohydrates divided by 7 grams of fiber. That gives us 6. Well, that's above 5, so even 1 point does make a difference. So we need to do something here or we will have a glucose spike. Off the top of my head, the first thing I would do to this is to add some yogurt. And that will likely bump up the protein enough to get that ratio down to where we need it. If it still needs a little more, you could possibly put some greens in there and you should be good to go. All right, the next one, a blueberry smoothie bowl. That looks wonderful. Let's see, let's look at its macros. 32 grams of carbs, put that in my calculator, divided by 7 grams of fiber, and that gives us 4.5. So that recipe is good right off the bat. It even has 25 grams of protein. That is a great breakfast, just straight as the recipe shows you. Scroll down again, berry, chia, and mint. Boy, that sounds like it would be a good one. Berries are very good. They have high fiber and low carbohydrates. Chia, super fiber. So let's take a look at its macros. It does have a low amount of protein, so I would definitely at least put some Greek yogurt in that or some protein powder. But let's look at the carbs. 17 grams divided by 8 grams of fiber. Well, you don't really need a calculator for that. That's 2. What a great ratio. So if you're not worried about protein, just want a good afternoon snack or something, that would totally be a possibility. But I would, even with an afternoon snack, I would bump up the protein with some protein powder or Greek yogurt. All right, a green pineapple coconut smoothie. That looks yummy. Let's look at its macros. Again, it's low in protein. I would put some Greek yogurt in that or protein powder. 30 grams of carbohydrate divided by 4 grams of fiber gives me 7.5. So yeah, that's a high ratio. So I certainly want to get some protein powder or Greek yogurt in that. Could possibly add some more greens into that and you would have a great smoothie. So that's what you do to check out the recipes. You take the total carbs, divide them by the fiber. If you fall in a ratio of 5 or lower, then it will not spike your glucose levels and you're off to a great start. So you can look at any recipe on the web and see if it fits into this ratio. So I invite you to do some perusing and find the recipes that sound good to you and improve your breakfast.
So are you ready to take charge of your food choices and embrace the 5-to-1 fiber rule? Remember, it's all about eating foods in the proper order. Veggies first, followed by proteins and fat, and lastly, carbs. You can have snacks of fruit throughout the afternoon. But do you have to have veggies for breakfast? Not necessarily, as long as your meals follow the 5-to-1 rule. However, adding vegetables to your omelet is always a great idea for that extra nutrition boost. How are you going to modify your typical breakfast? I'd love to hear your ideas, so be sure to comment below and let's inspire each other. Join me next week as we explore the surprising benefits of using vinegar to clamp down those glucose spikes and curb hunger. Trust me, it's a fun one. Until next time, as always, I'm sending you my love through my content. Give me a virtual hug by subscribing and hitting the thumbs up button. And don't forget to show someone you care by sharing this video with them. Wishing you an enlightened day, starting with your first meal. Bye for now.